Hello, hello, and welcome to episode 115 of the Compassion and Cucumbers podcast. I'm Christine.
And I'm Sam.
We have a ton of stuff to talk about.
So many things.
We have adventures to share.
Stories to tell.
Stories to tell. So let's not waste any time. As far as what we've been up to, we will get to that.
Yes.
But let's talk about where we're going to be.
Yeah, coming up this weekend, actually, we will be at the holiday pop-up at the Original South Onondaga General Store with Quillen's Crafts and Fat Cat Baking.
Yeah, that's Sunday, December 3rd from 12 to 3. If you're in the Syracuse area or the Onondaga area, swing by. Get yourself some baked goods. Stop by and say hi. Buy a scarf off of Sam and buy some of Quillen's beautiful art. He's been working on some kind of winter-themed stuff,
cool.
And it's all very awesome.
Love it. Then a couple weeks later, we'll be at the Vegan Center Hooray for the Holidays Market. That's at the Vegan Center 716 in Tonawanda, New York.
Yeah, from 11 to 3.
On Saturday, December 16th.
Hooray for holidays.
They're coming up.
Yeah, they are. Hey, we got a snowstorm today.
Yeah, we do. It is a veritable winter wonderland out there.
It is. My phone kept blowing up with these winter storm warnings. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, they don't know what they're talking about. And then I looked outside. I'm like, holy cow, it's a winter storm out there.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
Started snowing mid-morning, but then really, really started picking up late afternoon. So, yeah.
Yeah. We got a few inches on the ground. I mean, it's nothing major, but I guess this is supposed to continue.
It's supposed to continue through at least Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Hey, don't forget to follow Sam's Etsy site. It's Cucumber Craftworks.
Sure is. And ever since we returned from London on Friday afternoon, I've been madly making scarves and hats to get up on the Etsy site. So hopefully I'll be able to do some of that this week.
Yeah.
Also, we want to remind you that Hoodies for the Homeless 716 is again accepting donations of gently used hoodies and warm clothing. Those donations can be dropped off at Wellness in the Village at 13219 Broadway in Alden, New York, at State Farm Insurance at 209 Main Street in East Aurora, or at Yoga at the Locker, that's 9992 Main Street in Clarence, New York.
Yeah, if you're in the area close to any of those locations, please drop off any gently used hoodies and warm clothing.
That's right. So they can be put to good use.
Yeah, be greatly appreciated. We don't have a recipe this week because we were away and we didn't have time.
And we were sick.
We'll get into that.
Yeah.
So before we get into all that craziness, all of our London craziness, I have some noteworthy stuff.
All right.
In our noteworthy section, I heard rumblings of the current owners of Miyokos Creamery. You know, Miyokos ousted their founder, Miyoko, earlier this year. And there are now rumblings in the financial world that the new CEO of Miyokos is tossing around the idea of selling off the company.
Yeah, so this is coming from justfood.com on November 21st. American plant-based dairy producer Miyokos Creamery has announced its intention to raise $12 million in funding and potentially sell the business, according to news agency Bloomberg. In a letter sent to shareholders on November 10th, quoted by Bloomberg, Miyokos CEO Stuart Cronage said the group was implementing a financial stabilization plan to boost profits and open doors to a range of strategic alternatives, including selling the business.
That's a strategic alternative.
I'll say.
Yeah.
According to the letter, sales of its vegan alt dairy products doubled between 2019 and 2021, hitting $40 million, but dropped by 17.5% to $33 million in 2022 and sat at approximately $25 million in the 2023 third quarter period.
Yeah, I would imagine that ousting their founder had a lot to do with that drop in sales.
I'm thinking so too.
Yeah.
I don't imagine that the investors at the time of kind of the shift in leadership were entirely aware of how loyal the Miyokos following is
Right.
to Miyoko.
To Miyoko herself.
Yes.
Because she's not just a business owner.
That's right.
She's a sanctuary owner and a very vocal vegan
advocate.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, I'm sure that's why they saw that drop.
Absolutely. The California-based group, which has a product offering including plant-based milk and non-dairy cheese spreads and butter, has faced challenges in the plant-based market and broader economy. Cronage said in the letter, adding that it had been operating, quote, at large deficits for many years. Earlier this year, Miyokos announced production was being discontinued at its Petaluma, California-based facility as a result of recent expansion, which brought a need for more scalable production capacity and greater efficiencies. No information was given around where it planned to shift production to.
Yeah, so interesting. They closed their main production facility in Petaluma, but there's no production facility taking over what was happening there. So, yeah. What's going on?
Yeah.
What's going on at Miyokos Creamery?
And it's hard to say. So just to give a little bit of background, Cronage was appointed as the new CEO of Miyokos Creamery in August, replacing John Blair, who had been in the role since February, when founder and former chief executive Miyoko Schinner left the company. Miyokos Creamery filed a lawsuit against Schinner as a result of her departure. She met this with a countersuit claiming she had faced gender discrimination. Both parties reached a settlement in May, with the business saying it would embark on a new stage of growth. The company closed a $52 million Series C funding round in 2021. In 2022, it also secured close to $7 million in additional equity funding, according to company filings with the Security and Exchange Commission.
Yeah, it seems to me like the new board is just using Miyokos Creamery to make tons and tons of money, and then they're going to sell it off and walk away.
Yeah, it's really hard to know exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
Because obviously, as is true with many industries, with many corporations, there's not a lot of transparency.
No.
In how business is being done and for what reasons.
Right. Especially when there's shareholders involved. So.
Absolutely. So,
yeah.
It does seem that the new leadership at Miyokos is far more interested, of course, in the bottom line to shareholders than anything else.
Absolutely.
Which is unfortunate because that is certainly not the premise on which the company was founded. But, we'll see where this goes.
We shall see.
And how it plays out.
Yeah, time will tell, I'm sure.
Indeed.
Yeah. Hey, that brings us to our main topic. This week's main topic, if you didn't guess already, is Vegan London.
Because we were there.
We were there. We went, what? We went to, I don't know why Sam is laughing. We went to London initially to go to the Vegfest UK, right?
Yes, which we most certainly did.
Yeah. Now, if you listen to, not last week, but the previous episode, I think it was episode 113.
That would be the one.
We mentioned that I had a cold.
Yes.
And that Sam had,
up to that point,
thankfully,
fended it off.
Well, the day before we left, it hit her.
It did.
The cold hit.
Yes. And at first, it didn't seem like it was going to be a big thing because I was still feeling fine, but I had lost my voice.
Right. So then let's start at the beginning. We drove to Toronto. We flew out of Toronto via Air Canada.
Yes. And I have to say, one thing about this trip, probably the smoothest, door-to-door travel we've ever had.
Yeah, we didn't have any, no hiccups in the travel, that's for sure.
None at all. I mean, it was, it was a Thursday mid-morning as we were driving up to Toronto when we got across the border incredibly quickly.
There was no traffic.
No traffic on the Peace Bridge, which is really unusual.
Right.
Headed up into Toronto, got to the airport really easily, found parking really quickly. made it through security in the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
Like, we had already checked in for our flights remotely, so that was all done.
That always helps.
We found a great place to just kind of hang out because we got there several hours early.
Yeah, we don't mind getting there early. And the Toronto airport is a nice airport. There's plenty of places to eat and
Yep.
plenty of places to hang out. And so we'd much rather just get there early and know we're cool, get through security, and be able to relax before
Yeah,
a flight than
definitely.
racing to get to the gate and all that jazz.
Yeah, I hate the feeling of, oh my God, we could miss our flight. Like,
Yeah.
that drives me crazy.
Yeah.
So, no, the several hours of, sitting and reading and having some dinner and like, all of that was
what
great.
kind of vegan food did we find when we were at the airport?
We wound up getting burgers from Built.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Yeah, so they have an Impossible Burger.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. And of course, we had to ask for it without cheese.
Sure.
But it is otherwise vegan. So we got burgers and fries as our pre-flight meal.
We did. That's right.
They
I
were
forgot
quite
about
tasty.
that. And our flight, which was a connecting flight that was actually going from London to Mumbai,
Right.
we were not sitting together. We were sitting behind each other.
Yes.
Well, we can't sit behind each other. I was sitting behind Sam. Sam was sitting in front of me. Both of us in middle seats, which was unfortunate.
Which was truly unfortunate.
Yeah.
So not my preference.
I was sitting next to a young Indian man who was going to Mumbai to visit family who had never flown before. And he was extremely nervous through most of the flight.
Wow.
But I mean, he did okay. He did okay. So I was stuck between two young Indian men, and you were stuck between two women.
No.
Oh, no?
A young Indian woman who was returning to Mumbai to see her mom, who she had not seen since COVID.
Oh, no kidding.
Pre-COVID. So she was heading to Mumbai for the first time since the pandemic. And then on the other side, I had a young Asian man, probably in his late teens or early 20s. Yeah.
Yeah. So needless to say, because this plane was going so far, it was very large.
Very
and
large plane.
Very filled with people.
Oh, it was packed.
Yeah.
Completely packed.
Yep.
Yeah. So we, of course, were just taking the first leg of the flight.
Yes.
But it was a very smooth flight. And neither of us got any sleep.
No, I think I watched Sopranos through the whole flight.
Yeah.
Tried to doze off a couple of times, but it didn't really happen for me. And then, so when we got to London, I still had the remaining parts of this cold that I had, and Sam was getting worse.
I was just starting to feel the effects.
Yeah.
So, because of course, if you're even remotely, like, vaguely sick, flying is going to exacerbate it.
It always does.
End of story.
Just breathing that dry air.
Dry, recycled air for hours, will definitely make things worse. So, as we got off the plane in London, and again, super, super simple process of, kind of getting through immigration and all of that.
Yeah, let's just say the
Brits and the Canadians have it going on.
The security at the Toronto airport is so much easier than flying out of the U.S. The people are kind.
So pleasant.
Oh
my gosh.
They seem to be enjoying their jobs much more than the TSA employees here in the States seem to be. You're not feeling like you're being shoved through and poked and prodded and yelled at, and you don't have to take your shoes off.
Nope.
It's a much more pleasant experience.
Yeah. And that's true at Heathrow as well.
Yeah. And customs also in Canada and in the UK, much more pleasant experience than customs in the US can be.
Yeah.
So that went really well. But since we weren't feeling so great, instead of
our initial plan had been to get the tube to where we were headed, because there is a direct line.
Yeah.
If we took the Piccadilly line, we could get within
I
several
didn't
blocks.
feel like I had the brain power to even find the tube at that point. I'm like, let's just get a cab to our Airbnb.
And I was just acknowledging the fact that I was actually starting to feel sick.
Yeah.
And so we got a cab to our Airbnb, and the Airbnb was delightful.
Cute little garden studio.
So cute.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Behind these the host's house. They have this little garden studio. It's kind of like an artist studio. You know, it's a studio. It's just one room.
One room. Yep.
And I can see how in warmer weather it would be beautiful because you can open those doors onto the garden, onto their yard. And it was super bright and airy, high ceilings, lots of wood. It was a really cute place.
Yeah, I loved it.
Little kitchenette that folded out was the coolest thing.
It was the coolest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, had enough room. There was a couch and stuff, so it was enough room where we could spread out
a little bit. Yeah.
But I think Sam immediately fell asleep
I did.
upon entering the Airbnb and laying in the bed. She was out.
Yeah, I got into the Airbnb, kicked off my shoes.
Yeah.
And because the clothes I travel in are super, super comfy and not too far off from pajamas, I didn't even bother to change my clothes. I just took some cold medicine and got into bed and fell asleep and slept for most of Friday.
You did. Yeah, which is why we flew in Friday, because so we would have a day to just chill if we felt like we needed to chill. And I proceeded to look on my phone for some food. And funny enough, I had always heard that Domino's Pizza in the UK had tons of vegan options. And I know we had other like great restaurants around us.
So many
but I'm
around
like,
us.
I want to try the Domino's vegan options.
See, now I was asleep, so I had no say in this.
That's right. You didn't. You would have been like, Domino's.
I would have. I would have objected strenuously to the Domino's. But
I want to tell you what Domino's UK has, okay?
Okay.
First of all, they have a vegan pepperoni that they call pepperoni, N-A-Y.
Cool.
So they have a pepperoni medium classic crust pizza. They have...
and that's what we got, right?
No, I got kind of like a combo of things.
Oh, okay.
They have a vegan garlic and herb dip that you can get. They have vegan nuggets, potato wedges. They have a vegan margarita pizza and a vegan veggie supreme. I got the vegan veggie supreme and added their vegan pepperoni onto it. They also have vegan cheese.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't say on this list, but all of the vegan pizzas come with vegan cheese.
Right.
So I'm like, come on, Domino's USA. Seriously. And they're very reasonably priced. The pizzas were like under $20.
Yep.
And they delivered it in like 20 minutes.
There you go.
Seriously. It was amazing. And the pizza was pretty good.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. I wasn't crazy about the crust. I thought it was a little floppy, a little flimsy.
Domino's.
Right. Exactly. Domino's. But it wasn't bad. Flavor-wise, it totally worked. The pepperoni was good.
The pepperoni was
liked
good.
The pepperoni a lot.
Plenty of veg on it.
Plenty of veg.
I don't know what vegan cheese they use. But it doesn't say on their website, but it was really good.
Yeah. And it was funny because, I'm there fast asleep. I have no idea this is going on. And all of a sudden, Christine is nudging me awake. Hey, you want to help me eat this pizza? And I'm like, pizza? Like, really? What? And then I saw it was Domino's. And I was kind of like, you're kidding me with this. You cannot get Domino's.
I wanted to try it. I know it's kind of lame, because we're in London and I can get all kinds of different kind of food.
So much beautiful food.
But I wanted to try it, and it was quick.
It was.
So.
It was. And it did the job.
It did.
It did the job. It tided us over for, getting started at Vegfest the next morning.
Yeah. And you went right back to sleep after eating your pizza.
I ate pizza and I went right back to sleep.
Sam's cold got progressively worse. But the next day, we both... both bit the bullet and got ready to go.
No, Saturday, I feel like we were both doing pretty well on Saturday.
Yeah, after your day long of sleep.
After my Friday sleep, because let's say we probably got to the Airbnb like sometime shortly before noon.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
And then I slept most of the day, had pizza.
Yeah, you got like 20 hours of sleep.
Something. Well, I don't know if it would be that much, but it was quite a bit. It was quite a bit of sleep.
Yeah.
So I was feeling just fine on Saturday morning. And so we got up and we got ourselves ready to head to Vegfest, which very conveniently was, a block away from where we were staying?
Yeah, at the end of the road where our Airbnb was and across the street.
Yeah.
It was,
Amazing.
Literally a block away.
Yeah. So we made our first foray into Vegfest UK.
Yeah. Now, I will tell you that we were told that Vegfest UK was a much larger event prior to COVID. And this was their first comeback since COVID. But it was still quite a large event.
It was. I
Yeah.
mean, it was still a good size, but a number of people that we talked to explained to us that it was considerably smaller than it had been pre-COVID.
Yeah.
But we're just really glad that Vegfest UK is back and up and running again.
Yeah.
Even with it being relatively smaller, we're still talking about 100 vendors.
Yeah, more than 100, right?
Yeah. It was a lot. It's a lot.
So, all right, let's talk about what do we do? What do we eat? Who do we see? What do we do?
Well, the very first thing we did is we kind of took just a little tour of everything.
The surveillance. You got to do that
we had
at
to do
any
the
Veg
surveillance.
Fest.
Yes, absolutely. And so we got the lay of the land and kind of, earmarked the places that we knew we wanted to eat, food we had to sample.
Yeah.
That kind of a thing. And then also, vendors that we wanted to visit for various reasons and all of that. But the first food we had was actually from an Indian place called Chaat It.
Chaat It.
Yes.
Yes.
Chaat It. And we very simply, for starters, just got a couple of their samosas.
Yes, we did. Yeah, so we started our day with samosas.
We did. Started our day with samosas.
Which is a good way to start your day.
Well, you can't go wrong, really. And the filling on these samosas was absolutely divine.
It was. They weren't the best samosas I've ever had, but the filling was delicious.
Yeah, and no to not being the best samosas you've ever had, but that's largely because I think because they're being prepared
Off-site.
Yeah. And then kept in a warmer.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. You're
they
not
lose their
getting that
crispiness.
kind of crispy outside that you usually get on good samosa dough.
Right.
So yeah, the dough was, a little bit on the soggy side compared to what you would expect. But again, the filling was just absolutely glorious.
They were very good.
They were. And so from there, we did find that seating was semi-limited. They had a number of large tables
I would
set
say,
up in various parts
as far as
the
Veg
venue.
Fests, to compare it with other Veg Fests, I would say that they had a lot of seating, comparably speaking. But for as large as the event was, they could have had more seating.
Right. Yeah. Having more seating would have been helpful.
Yeah.
But once we got our samosas, we did manage to find a spot at one of the larger tables. And so from there, we kind of said, well, hey, why don't we hang on to our seats and we'll just kind of get up and one of us would get up and go and pick something to eat, and the other one would sit and hold our spots at the table. So
we did that for a little while.
Yeah. So after the samosas, we sent Christine out on a hunt for food, and she came back with what I honestly think was my favorite dish of the Veg Fest.
Yeah.
And that was the ultimate salad from Mel Tropical Kitchen.
Yeah, it was kind of like a Caribbean. She was doing like a Caribbean salad thing. Mm-hmm. She had falafel and all of these beautiful salads, beet salads. And I mean,
oh my gosh.
There had to have been like 10 different types of salads.
And hummus and different curries. Mm-hmm. And oh my God.
And I just told her, I'm like, toss a falafel in there and then you pick whichever ones you think we should try. Mm-hmm. And she just filled this.
And we basically got a little bit of everything.
It was so good.
So good.
Yeah.
And just the flavors, like there were so many different components to the dish that you would think that the flavor combinations might be a little jarring at times, but they weren't.
They all went together very well, I think.
Seriously, it could have been a single cohesive dish.
Yeah.
Like it was just gorgeous.
It was really good.
Every single forkful was a little bit different.
Yeah.
And some new different flavor came to the forefront with every bite. So it was just outstanding.
Yeah. The pricing on most of the booths I felt was pretty good.
I thought it was very, very reasonable.
Yeah.
And even taking into consideration that the pound is worth a bit more than the dollar is right now, about 30% more, actually. The pricing in the UK was still better than what it tends to be in the U.S.
Yeah. I thought so.
Things were not quite as expensive.
For the amount of food you got.
the amount of food you were getting.
I thought so.
Yeah. Yeah. So this salad was absolutely incredible. Now, Mel Tropical Kitchen, they do not have a brick and mortar. They are predominantly a catering company.
Yeah, catering and events.
But just outstanding food.
Yeah.
Truly amazing.
I enjoyed that a lot. Oh, and to go back to the table thing.
Yeah.
They were large round tables, which one good thing about that was it encouraged conversation.
Yeah, that
with
was
other
really
people,
cool.
which was kind of nice. I thought, we had some good conversations with strangers. So that's always fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was really nice.
What did we do next?
Well, next we sent me out on an adventure.
We did. And Sam was gone for forever. And then she came back with nothing. And I'm like, what's happening?
Well, first of all, can we please take into consideration that one, Christine is not a particularly patient person.
Not
and
at
two,
all.
has no concept of time.
Yeah, I will admit that I am not the most patient of people. But then when I saw you coming back and you had nothing, I'm like, what is happening?
Well, and it's because I got perplexed. I got a little bit overwhelmed.
Yeah,
so I was wandering
decide.
around. I couldn't. I was trying to decide whether to stand in the really, really long line at the poke place or stand in the really, really long line at the Vietnamese place.
Right.
Or not stand in a really long line and get something else. I was having trouble. I don't know.
Yeah.
It must have been the cold medicine. I was
probably
a little wonky, I'm imagining.
But then you ventured back out. I said, keep going.
And then
and don't come back empty-handed.
And so I didn't. And so I wound up at a place that did not have a hugely long line to it. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to make this simple. I've been wandering around for too long. So I went to Chickenish.
Chickenish.
Yes.
Which, you may have guessed it, is kind of a fried vegan chicken place.
Yes.
And they do sandwiches
were doing
and stuff
sandwiches and nuggets. And
right.
So I got us a couple of sandwiches. I got their classic, which was, a vegan chicken patty with lettuce, tomato, pickles.
Yeah.
And kind of a garlic aioli mayo, which was delightful.
Yeah,
it was really good.
Then you got me the one that had this hot honey, spicy honey.
Yes.
Well, it was actually I think it was maple syrup.
It was maple syrup
With pepper in it or something.
Mm-hmm.
Red pepper. It was really good.
Yeah.
It was a nice combination. The sweet and the salty of the breading on their chicken was really good.
Yeah, for sure. So we had those chicken sandwiches. So between the samosas and the salad and the chicken sandwiches, we were pretty well fed at that point.
Yeah, we're like, okay, we need to walk around and walk some of this off. Walk it off a little bit, you know, because, it's that classic thing that you can't eat everything at an event like this. You want to try, every vendor, but you just can't.
Right.
So where did we go after those chicken sandwiches?
Well, so after that, we started wandering around and just looking at the vendors. And so, what I found interesting about this Vegfest, because we've mentioned before how the Vegfests we've been to in the U.S. are very food focused.
Right, yes.
And then the Vegfests we've been to in Canada are more activist focused.
Yes.
And this one I found interesting because it was more, though there were certainly food elements and activist elements, it was more product focused.
There was a lot of product booths.
Yes.
I will agree with that. Yeah.
Loads of product booths. And, not always things that you could sample, but we're talking, nut milks and ice creams and vegan cheeses and just all kinds of different products that are on the UK market or that are hoping to be more largely available on the UK market.
Yeah, retail stuff.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we saw a lot of that. And
there was a lot of personal care products.
Yep.
There was a vegan perfume place.
Yes.
That had 30 different
Oh God, more than that. That
varieties
wall,
of perfume.
Oh my gosh, that wall of perfumes they had. There must have been 50 or 60 perfumes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was incredible. Neither of us are perfume wearers, so that wasn't really a draw for us. But it was still really interesting to see. There were several vegan bakeries, which I'm always excited to talk about.
Yes, there was a lot of vegan bakeries.
A lot of vegan bakeries. Mm-hmm. And we actually, kind of had to decide where we were going to put our baked good focus.
Right.
Because, we were only there for a week, so we couldn't buy baked goods from every bakery. But yeah, so just a lot of products available. And I thought that was interesting because that doesn't tend to be quite as true in the Vegfest we've been to on this side of the pond.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we wandered around for a while and we were hailed by a young man selling cheesecake.
That's right. We were hailed by a cheesecake salesman.
Yes. And so we had a lovely conversation with the folks at Chapper's Cheesecake. And
they were so nice.
They were so nice.
Yeah.
And when we said that we were from the U.S., they said, of course, oh, so you know the Cheesecake Factory. I'm like, yes, we do. But you know what? No vegan cheesecake.
No.
He's like, I know. We're going to take over. And I'm like, sounds good to me. Bring it on.
Yeah.
So we chatted with them for a while. And so they were doing some really, really beautiful cheesecakes. They were doing 2 different flavors. They were doing a vanilla and then a Biscoff cheesecake.
Yeah.
And then they had a variety of toppings to choose from and a variety of sauces to choose from. And they were also doing some vegan versions of certain
candy bars,
like Snickers bars and Reese's peanut butter cups and those kinds of things.
Yes.
So we had a wonderful conversation, but we were still pretty full from the food that we had already eaten, so decided to walk around a little bit.
We said, we'll be back. We will be back to buy some of your wares, but we need to walk off what we just ate.
Yes, exactly. So we wandered around for a while, looking here and there and talking to some of the activist organizations. And
and then we went to there were lots of presenters too.
Yeah, loads of presenters.
Yeah, so I think that's when after we walked around for a little while, we went and listened to a presentation called Unifying the Vegan Movement, Collaborative Strategies for Collective Impact.
That is indeed the one we went to.
Yeah, and it included a friend of ours that we met in D.C., Sash.
Ooh, Sash.
Sash Joliffe Yesawi is his full name. And it was really good to see Sash because
it was great.
We hadn't seen him since last October.
Right, at the Ava Summit.
Yeah. So we met Sash and his husband and went to the presentation where they had multiple people from multiple vegan advocacy groups getting together to talk about exactly what it says, how they can combine their work into a cohesive sort of advocacy.
Right. And so in this particular panel, so there were representatives from the Vegan Society, from We the Free, from the Animal Justice Project, and other organizations. And just having a conversation about how they are currently collaborating within the arena of vegan activism and how they could perhaps expand their collaborative efforts.
Yeah, and the moderator of that panel, we felt maybe spoke a little too much.
Yeah.
Not leaving enough time for the panelists to say what they had to say.
Right. And to actually talk to each other, which I thought would have been really, really interesting.
Yeah.
When Christine was getting ready to moderate the panel at Syracuse Vegfest back in September, she got some advice from a friend of ours. It was from Andy, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, from Andy Tabar. And he said, don't talk too much. Ask the question and let the panelists do the talking.
Which I'm like, you don't have to tell me that twice.
Right. And so this presenter, I think, could have done a bit more of that.
I think so, too. I think that he enjoyed hearing himself talk a little bit.
It did seem that way.
Not that he didn't have good things to say.
Right.
But he could have allowed more time because they ran out of time before really some of the stuff that people had to say. They didn't get a chance to say it.
Yeah, it seemed like things just got cut a little bit short.
Yeah.
Still, an interesting conversation, and I'm really glad we got to sit in on it.
Oh, yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a good panel. And they had, interestingly, I think, was there 4, maybe 5 different areas where there were panel discussions, and they were separated by what type of advocacy they were. If it was environmental advocacy, if it was animal advocacy, health advocacy. And then where we saw this one was one that was like a combo kind of
Right.
thing where things were supposed to come together and people from all those different groups. There was also one that was for strictly for vegan business owners.
Yep.
So I thought that was pretty well put together.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool, actually.
That you could hang out near whatever interests you had.
Right.
And listen to the presenters
Yeah.
in that particular field.
Yeah.
You know,
Very cool.
I thought that was a good idea.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah. What did we do after that?
Well, after the presentation, we headed back to Chapper's Cheesecake to
Right.
get that cheesecake.
Because we're like, okay, now we have room for cheesecake.
Exactly. So back to Chapper's we went, and we got a slice of their vanilla cheesecake topped with Jammy Dodgers because
Yeah.
Jammy Dodgers.
Jammy Dodgers are good.
Yeah, they are. And we got that with some raspberry sauce,
Of course.
on top.
Yeah.
And it was just beautiful.
It was a really good cheesecake and super light and fluffy and
Yeah, incredibly light, incredibly creamy.
Yep.
And just for me, the lightness was what sold it, because sometimes, you know, even with the best cheesecake,
Yeah.
they can feel a little bit heavy
yeah.
because cheesecakes, seriously, they're all fat.
Yeah.
You know, and so they can feel a little bit heavy.
They can.
But not this. This was incredibly airy, incredibly light, not too sweet.
No, the crust was really good
The
on it.
crust
too.
was great. The
Yeah.
filling was great. The toppings were great. So we absolutely loved it. And so Chapper's Cheesecake, you know what? Go right ahead. Take over the cheesecake world. We're behind you.
Yeah, and definitely check out their Instagram at Chapper's Cheesecake and just look at some of the pictures of their cheesecakes. And then we also got some of their copycat candy bars.
We did.
We got
We got the Snickers
we
bar.
got the Snickers bar, which was really good. We got 2 of the peanut butter cups,
and
which
that was it.
I enjoyed. Oh, that's all we got from them?
Just the Snickers and the peanut butter cups. Yeah.
They were so good.
Yeah. They were.
Oh,
They
we
were
got
really, really good.
I'm thinking of something we got at another place.
You are.
We'll talk about that in a little bit.
We will. Yeah.
So that was, I think, then we just walked around some more.
We did. And that's where we picked up some baked goods to take
Right,
with us.
right. To take
because
home.
We figured after the cheesecake, you know, it was getting a little later in the afternoon, and we're kind of like, well, do we stay and have something for dinner? Because we're pretty stuffed from lunch plus cheesecake.
Right.
So we decided not to have dinner. And instead we picked up some baked goods to take back with us. And those baked goods came from Vegan Antics.
Yeah, Vegan Antics.
I love the name, first off.
Yeah.
And I decided to get baked goods from them out instead of some of the other bakeries, simply because of what their offerings were.
They had a ton of offerings.
The first thing I saw was the dark chocolate hazelnut praline brownie.
Right. Yeah, that's what got you.
Right there. That was it. I was done. That's all I need.
Yeah. Sam sees anything chocolate hazelnut. Yeah.
That's it.
You've won her over.
So we got a couple of those.
Yep.
And Christine requested a chocolate millionaire bar.
It was really good.
Yes, we actually saved that until the day before we left.
Yep.
And it was just as fresh and delicious.
It was so good.
Yeah, it was just amazing. And then I also got a Viennese whirl.
Oh yeah, the Viennese whirl which
Yes.
was beautiful, and Sam said it was delicious. She didn't
was
even let me
delicious.
try it.
I didn't. Yeah. So a Viennese whirl, for those of you who are unfamiliar, are 2 kind of swirled butter cookies. And in between there's a beautiful vanilla buttercream and a bit of raspberry jam. And they also had some dehydrated raspberry on the top. And it was just glorious.
So it tasted as good as it looked.
Oh, every bit as good
'Cause they
as it
were
looked.
beautiful.
They were beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the baked goods from Vegan Antics were absolutely fantastic.
And I got a t-shirt from one of my favorite vegan t-shirt people,
Indeed, you did.
Anti-Carnist. If you're not familiar with Anti-Carnist, they have a really cool aesthetic. Their designs are all original, all originally drawn, and they have this kind of heavy metal kind of aesthetic. And they just have some really good messaging on their shirts. So I got a long sleeve one that just says Anti-Carnist, and then it has down the sleeve, both sides of the sleeves, anti-carnist, anti-carnist, anti-carnist. And then at the bottom, it's got, well, in the middle of the t-shirt, it's got a picture of a bull walking through a forest. And then on the bottom, it said, animals are here for us, or
With
animals
us.
are here with us and not for us.
Yep.
It's a really great shirt, and I'm sure it'll become one of my favorites. Sam got me for Christmas, was it last year?
Last year, yep.
A couple of their designs, and I just love their work. So check out, because you can get they do ship to the States.
They have an Etsy store.
Yeah, at Anti-Carnist. Just Google Anti-Carnist vegan clothing and check out some of their designs, because they're fantastic. I just love their work.
They are awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, really awesome. So love them.
What else did we do? Or was that it for day one?
Well, that was it for day one. And actually, you didn't get your anti-carnist t-shirt until day two.
No, I know I got it day one because
Oh, did you wear it day two?
I wore it day two.
Okay.
Yep.
Got it. Sorry. My apologies. But that did wrap up day one. Pretty much. From there, we decided that we would take a walk to a nearby grocery store just to get a few things to keep in the Airbnb.
Yeah, we needed crumpets and, other necessities.
Yes, because crumpets are absolutely a necessity when you are in the UK.
Yeah. Just something to have for a little breakfast or something before we get on the road in the morning or whatever.
Right. So we headed to Waitrose and picked up, some water and some crumpets and some bread for toast and just little
vegan
things
butter.
like that. Yeah, vegan butter.
You got a couple of juices or something, I think.
did. Yep.
Checked out their vegan food section. They had a pretty substantial plant-based food section.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And every market that we went into in the UK did. And it was very, very clearly marked, which is great.
Yeah. They had like 2 corners of a cold section completely dedicated to plant-based foods and stuff.
Yep. And they also had sections of their, kind of prepared takeaway foods.
Yeah.
Sandwiches and salads and stuff like that. Everything that was vegan was clearly marked as such.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
They're good about that in the UK.
They really are.
Yeah.
And so we kind of headed back to the Airbnb and just kind of chillaxed for the rest of the day, getting ready to go back to Vegfest the following morning.
Yeah, we had to rest up for day 2.
Indeed, we did.
Day 2. So what happened on day 2?
Well, day 2, we started out food-wise at Gilly Foods. They were doing largely Vietnamese-based Asian cuisine. So Christine got a couple of bao buns.
I got 2 of what they had, like a bao burger kind of thing. They were these tiny little bao burgers. Very good. And I love a good bao bun, a good steamed bun. Who doesn't like a good steamed bun?
I don't know. I think they're pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were good.
Yep. And then I got they had a sweet and sour soy protein over noodles. And so I had that, and that was really delightful. The sauce was great. Again, when a sweet and sour isn't too sweet, because that's my primary problem with American sweet and sour sauces, is they tend to be too sweet,
too much,
not enough sour.
Yeah, too much corn syrup.
Yeah, exactly. And so that was not the case with this. It was a really beautifully balanced sauce. There was lots of nice fresh veg in with the noodles, and the soy protein chunks were great as well. So we were both really happy with that.
Yeah, so while we were sitting at one of the large round tables, a woman sitting next to us, who we found out her name is Queen Salamu.
Queen Salamu.
Started a conversation up with us, asked us where we were from and all this. And turns out she was volunteering for the Vegfest.
Yes.
And after we ate our meal and we, had a little bit of conversation, she was talking about a couple of places that we really need to check out. And she's like, do you want me to show you where it is? And we're like, sure.
Absolutely.
So then she took us on this like mini tour.
It was so great.
Yeah. So she brought us to an ice cream place. And the name of the ice cream place was
Yummy Chums.
Yummy Chums. Really good, creamy vegan ice cream.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he put syrup on top.
Well, what flavor did you get?
I got, I don't even remember. Oh my God.
Seriously?
I don't. I want to say it was a chocolate. I honestly don't remember.
I can't believe you can't remember your ice cream flavor.
I know.
Shame on you.
It was chocolate and something.
Well, mine was coconut salted caramel.
Yeah, mine was chocolate something, but I can't remember what the something was.
Yeah. Well, I got the coconut salted caramel with a bit of raspberry sauce.
Yeah.
And it was gorgeous.
Mine might have been like a chocolate brownie or something like that. Like a vanilla with chocolate brownie or something like that. And then I got chocolate syrup on top. Mm-hmm. And it was really super creamy.
Super creamy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all done with pea protein.
Right. Pea protein.
Which I thought was amazing.
Yeah.
Because one of the drawbacks to a lot of vegan ice creams is that they are loaded with coconut oil.
They can be if it's a coconut-based
if it's a coconut-based ice cream.
Yeah.
But, and even, cashew-based or almond-based ice creams will have
some
heavy
coconut oil.
Yeah, or have a heavy fat content, which this, because it was pea protein, didn't. But you never would guess that from
because it's
the texture.
Yeah, the texture
and
is super creamy. Because the one thing I don't like about like oat ice creams is they're kind of icy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're kind of watery because of the water content in oat milk.
Right.
So I really appreciated the creaminess of this pea protein ice cream. It was really good.
Yeah, it was truly awesome.
So then where she took us on this tour, so she's like, okay, now you need to try.
Then we ended up at Honestly Tasty.
Honestly Tasty.
Now, Honestly Tasty was doing their very own, I would call gourmet vegan cheeses.
Yeah, gourmet cheeses.
And Queen Salomu bought a foursome of the cheeses that they were displaying and very graciously gave one of them to us.
Yeah, gifted us their vegan camembert that they call Chamembert.
Which I love. The name is great.
Yeah. And I just have to tell you, this is one of the best vegan cheeses I've ever tried.
Now, I'm actually not a huge fan of vegan cheese. In general.
Yeah.
You gave me a taste of that stuff on the plane. I was like, whoa, that's good.
Yeah, it's one of those vegan cheeses that you almost are like, is this really a vegan cheese? Because it has like a rind and everything, it's aged and to perfection.
Right.
And it tasted like a camembert.
Yeah.
Totally.
Right. Exactly. And when I say I'm not a fan of vegan cheese, it's not that I don't like vegan cheese. It's that I can do with it, or I can take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it. And that's the way you were with cheese in general.
With one exception, which was Havarti with dill.
Right. Dill Havarti.
Yes. Was my weakness when it came to cheese.
Yeah.
And there actually is a very good Havarti dill out there in vegan form. The Creamery makes it, and it's really, really good. But this Chamembert was unbelievable.
It was.
I was so impressed.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yes.
For gifting us that.
Indeed.
Cheese.
Indeed. And of course, not long after our stop at Honestly Tasty, we headed on over to Food Hack.
Right.
Where we got crackers to go with the cheese.
Got some of these really great seeded crackers. Mm-hmm. And they had a deal. If you buy 2 packages of something, you get a third free. So we got 2 packages of the crackers because I knew we had that cheese.
Right.
And then I got a thing of their cookies.
They were ashwagandha chocolate chip cookies.
Ashwagandha chocolate chip cookies. And those were pretty good.
They were.
Yeah.
Now, granted, both Christine and I prefer a chocolate chip cookie to be chewy as opposed to crunchy. And these were on the crunchy, crumbly side.
Yeah.
Of the cookie spectrum. But in terms of the flavor, they were really, really good.
They were good. And I don't know about the ashwagandha. I didn't notice anything from the ashwagandha. What is ashwagandha supposed to do for you?
I think ashwagandha is calming.
Supposed to be calming or something?
Yes.
So, we ate that bag of cookies at the Airbnb.
We did.
And
over the next few days, yeah.
I didn't notice that they were calming. Doesn't mean they didn't.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, and then she's like, "Oh, well, you got to go to the
Vegan Society,
and get your goodie bag because the Vegan Society was giving Vegan Society members, which we are, goodie bags out. So we got 2 goodie bags from the Vegan Society.
Yes, we did.
A very nice bright orange Vegan Society tote.
Love it.
Filled with products.
Yes.
What were some of the products that were in those?
Well, let's see. We got some crunchy chickpeas.
Oh, yeah.
Some sweet chili crunchy chickpeas.
Yep, I had some of those on the plane.
We got some peanut butter cups, some chocolate peanut butter cups.
I haven't eaten mine. They're on the counter.
We got some tissues.
Oh, that's right. And those came in handy.
Those came in very handy because, we were about to be a mess. And let's see, we got some some facial products like moisturizer.
Yeah, there was like a little
toner
moisturizer,
stuff like that. Now I really don't use those kinds of things.
There was a little
bar of soap.
Uh-huh.
I left the package of moisturizer samples in the Airbnb.
Oh, that's good because somebody else can use them.
Exactly, because I just don't really use that stuff.
Yeah,
there were some seaweed crackers.
Oh, yeah.
Which I don't think we've tried yet.
Nope.
And I think that's about it.
That sounds like that was about it.
Yeah.
Then
some. Oh, a deodorant.
Oh, yeah. And the deodorant. And there's a story behind the deodorant. We'll get to that.
There is.
And then just some printed material. From different organizations.
Yep.
So that was nice.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. It was really great. And so then Queen Solomu left us and
it was time for her shift.
To her volunteer shift. And Christine and I wandered around a little bit more, but the cold that Christine had already for a week and a half and that I was starting to get was catching up with me.
Yes, what I was calling the impending doom had finally arrived full scale for Sam.
Yes.
At that point.
Exactly. So we ended up heading back to our Airbnb a little bit earlier where I once again kind of conked out and got some sleep.
Yeah.
And we again wound up with pizza for dinner.
Because you left me ordering the food.
Exactly.
But at least I didn't go to Domino's. I ordered it from a wonderful restaurant in Kensington called Paparazzi's. Mm-hmm. And they have an entire vegan menu there at Paparazzi's.
Super cool.
Let's just take a look at some of the stuff that Paparazzi's have, and then we'll tell you what we got.
Go for it.
So Paparazzi's on their vegan pizza menu, they have Fresca, which is a vine cherry tomato, basil, minted courgette, and balsamico. They have, here's what we got, the Caparina, which is vegan cheese, aubergines, capers, and rucola, which is what they call, what do we call rucola? Arugula. They also call it rocket over there. We got that and it was delicious.
It was fabulous.
They also have one called the Vegana, which is tomato, sun-dried tomato, olives, and garlic. They have the Zucchona, which is pumpkin, vegan feta, pistachio, and basil.
And oh my gosh, this last one, I can't believe you didn't get this.
I almost got it, but I didn't. The Amorosa, which is aubergines, lemon tahini, and rose harissa.
Oh,
I probably should have got that one now that Sam's...
Well, no, I mean, I was very, very happy with the Caparina because, I'm sorry, capers on pizza, bring it on.
Yeah.
Like, right there.
That's what kind of cinched the Caparina for me was the capers and the rocket because it sounded like a good combination.
Sure. But,
so then
I didn't get to see the menu before she ordered.
No, she was sleeping. Then I also got from their vegan pasta menu, their gnocchi, the gnocchi arancini al tartufo e noci.
Not bad.
Which was eggless potato gnocchi, cepes, walnuts, and truffle oil.
So good.
It was delicious.
Absolutely beautiful.
They also have a vegan tagliatelle, cavolo nero e crema di maize, which is stewed cavolo nero, tagliatelle with potato and sweet corn cream. So anyway, this restaurant has a ton of vegan food. It's Paparazzi's. If you're ever in West Kensington in London and are looking for vegan options, I highly recommend the vegan Italian cuisine at Paparazzi's. So yeah, we ended up with pizza again because I ordered the food and I love pizza.
Yep, count on it.
Those gnocchi were really good, though.
They were really good.
And I love walnuts in a pasta dish. It's something I do frequently. I will often add walnuts to a pasta dish. So
right.
It's just a good textural and flavor component. Yeah, in a pasta dish.
Yep. But if you happen to be in the West Kensington area and would like to stop by Paparazzi's, you can find them at 1 Charleville Road, London.
So then the impending doom got worse and worse as the night went on.
Right. Now, fortunately, we had scheduled like the big stuff of this trip right at the beginning. Outside of that Friday that, we try to always give ourselves a day to kind of recover from travel and all of that.
In case the jet lag is terrible.
Exactly. And so fortunately, Vegfest was Saturday, Sunday, and we had scheduled our other kind of big event, which was going to the Warner Brothers studio tour, The Wizarding World of Harry Potter, and having their vegan high tea for Monday.
Yeah.
And it's a really good thing that we did that on Monday.
Things got progressively worse.
Yes.
Throughout the week.
Yes. So anyway, Monday morning we got up and we got on the train and headed to Watford Junction.
Watford Junction.
Yes, where we got the bus to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Warner Brothers studio tour.
Uh-huh.
And we got there a bit early.
We did. I think our tour was scheduled for 11 and we were there
around 10.
Around 10, yeah.
And so we wandered into their food hall and found immediately that the Warner Brothers studio tour is doing a really good job of catering to their vegetarian and vegan clientele.
Yeah, lots of vegan options. And they had a full vegan English breakfast.
They did.
Which anytime I see a full vegan English breakfast on anyone's menu, I'm like, that's what I'm getting. So that's what we got.
Yes. So on their breakfast menu, they had the vegan breakfast, which included vegan bacon, a tofu scramble, spinach, vegan sausage, roasted tomato, field mushrooms, hash browns, baked beans, and toast.
Yeah, it was a lot of food.
It really was.
And only one problem with this vegan breakfast was our toast came with thank God it was wrapped and not already on our toast, a thing of dairy butter.
Of dairy butter.
I'm like, oops.
Yeah. Now, I have a feeling that might have been by mistake.
Well, I'm hoping that's a mistake. Why would you offer a full vegan breakfast and then put a
pat of dairy butter.
Dairy butter on top.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. But just the fact that there was a full vegan breakfast was pretty great. And that wasn't the only offering.
No.
They also had a stack of blueberry, strawberry, and vegan whipped cream pancakes.
Right.
Which we did not try.
We did not.
No, because I thought that was going to be too much sweet for the morning.
I'm not a fan of like a sweet breakfast like that. I mean,
me either.
Occasionally I'll get pancakes, but very rarely do I want something sweet in the morning.
Yeah, we both tend towards savory breakfasts.
Yeah.
So we did not try the pancakes, but the fact that they existed was really great. They also had a coconut yogurt granola. So this was a granola with coconut milk yogurt and mango puree, which sounded great.
Yeah.
They also had crumpets with jam, which were also vegan.
Vegan crumpets with jam.
So just the fact that there were that many options for breakfast was really great.
Yeah, it made us happy that we got there early.
Yeah.
Because it's like, let's sit down and have a nice breakfast.
Absolutely.
And we did.
We did. And then in addition, we found out later as we were leaving our tour that they also had some pretty impressive lunch offerings. Their burgers could be made vegan. They had a vegan pizza, actually two vegan pizzas. Their margarita pizza and their firebolt pizza could both be made vegan.
Uh-huh.
They had a vegetable rice salad that was vegan. There were vegan toppings for the salads. You could get vegan salmon to go on a salad. They had a full vegan Christmas dinner.
Yeah, I saw that.
Which was a rice and vegetable bake with shredded sprouts, cranberry stuffing, red onion and garlic roast potatoes, roast carrots, parsnips, and gravy, and includes a Christmas cracker. So it was really quite amazing. They also had, now seriously, if we had not been doing the high tea and all of that, they also had a vegan sweet potato, spinach, and coconut curry pie.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yes. They also had vegan fish and chips.
Right. Yep.
Like, so I have to say, I'm really, really impressed.
No, big ups
with
to
the vegan offerings.
Yeah, big ups to Warner Brothers London Tour, because they had an amazing amount of vegan things on their menu.
And so after breakfast, we went through the tour and we found that the first part of the tour was essentially identical to what we had seen in the past.
Except for the Great Hall.
Right.
Everything is decorated for Christmas.
Yeah. And
so the Great Hall was dressed for Christmas dinner.
That was special.
Which, if you don't know, this tour is actual set pieces and actual spaces where they filmed. So this is the actual
Harry Potter movies.
Yeah, this is the actual Great Hall where they film the Harry Potter movies. And so they had it dressed for Christmas dinner, and it was beautiful with all the hanging candles. And the whole tour was themed in winter, right?
Yes.
Harry Potter in winter.
Hogwarts in the snow.
Yeah, Hogwarts in the snow was the whole theme. So a lot of, even some of the things that were the same, they had added snow.
Yes, yes, this is true.
Yeah.
This is very true.
Yeah.
But once we got through the kind of first half of the tour, and we got to the cafe that was kind of on the back lot.
Yeah.
And we did stop for lunch.
We stopped at the back lot cafe to see what they had as far as vegan options go, because, hey, if there's food there, we're going to see what you have that's vegan.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. And we're probably going to try it.
Yeah. So you got a vegan burger, right?
I did. I got a vegan burger. Now, my initial thought was they had vegan chili fries.
Oh, that's right. But they were out of the chili.
They were out of the vegan chili, unfortunately, because I thought, oh, wow, something chili-esque that would feel really good on my throat, which was kind of sore. And I was struggling a little bit through the tour, I have to admit.
As the day went on.
Yeah.
Yeah. You struggled further.
I struggled more and more as the day went on. But they were out of the vegan chili. So instead, I got their vegan burger, which was delicious. I really enjoyed it. It was kind of more of a veggie burger than it was like an Impossible or a Beyond or something like that.
Right.
It wasn't trying to be a hamburger.
Right.
Yeah. It was just a veggie burger, but it was really very, very good. And you had a salad, if I remember.
I did. It was the vegan superfood salad. It had vegan feta, edamame, cranberries, cherry tomatoes, beetroot, quinoa, pumpkin seeds, and broccoli.
Nice.
It was a fantastic salad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, this is just like a little kind of fast food stand that they have in the back lot. And I thought it was a really well done salad.
Yeah, it looked beautiful. Mm-hmm. It really did. It looked beautiful.
Yeah, I felt like, I had been eating a lot of pizza, so I better...
Fair point.
better have some, more something more veg heavy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it was delicious.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it thoroughly.
And as for other vegan offerings, they had a vegan hot dog. And then, of course, a kid's veggie burger. They also had a vegan chili dog. So, again, all kinds of offerings there. They also had vegan butterbeer, which we did not try.
We did not.
We decided not to wait in line for the vegan butterbeer.
We didn't.
But that's okay. Next time.
Yeah, next time.
Next time. But just the fact that it does exist is pretty great. Now, the one thing they don't have yet is a vegan version of the butterbeer ice cream.
No, they don't. Not yet.
Yeah. So the last time we were at the Warner Brothers studio tour back in 2018, we tried, this was pre-veganism
we weren't vegan
for us,
yet.
but we tried the butterbeer ice cream and it was kind of revelatory.
It was good. If you've never had butterbeer, it's kind of like a cream soda-ish situation.
Yep. And made into an ice cream. It was gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I loved it.
Yeah, so then we made our way through the rest of the tour. There were some additions to the...
all kinds of new things.
Yeah, there were some additions to the outside scene stuff, the Privet Lane stuff. They also had... Privet Drive, sorry. And they had a model of the Weasley burrow.
Yep.
Is that what they call it? The burrow, the Weasley house.
Yeah, and they had the herbology greenhouses.
Yes, that wasn't there last time we were there. Where you can walk through the greenhouse and... yank out
and pull a mandrake.
Yeah, yank out the baby mandrakes and they scream.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were not required to put on earmuffs.
No. Before that, I took a lesson in spellcasting.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that was awesome.
Which was pretty hilarious.
It was hilarious. Because, of course, what they were doing, it was kind of like a physically teaching you kind of how to move as a spellcaster.
Yeah, it was kind of like a stage combat situation.
Yes,
Yeah.
and Christine is not a coordinated human being.
Not at all, but I think I did pretty well.
You did. It was great. And, for any of you who are interested, I filmed the whole thing.
Yeah. We'll have to put that behind a paywall. I'm kidding.
But yeah, so that was pretty great. It was really amazing, actually.
Yeah, there was a tour guide standing on this platform, and she was like calling out to people who would like a lesson in stage combat spells casting, and nobody was taking her up on the offer, and so I'll do it. Sam's like, really?
Oh, no, I thought it was great. No, the only reason I didn't do it is because I was scared that I was going to get coughing. And,
because you weren't feeling well.
I wasn't feeling well, but I was more than happy to video you.
Yeah.
And it was great.
So then we went through all of the outside stuff, and then back inside you go through their like creature
studio,
which is amazing, because what you might not understand if you're not a fan of or even if you are a fan of the Harry Potter movies, is that a lot of the creatures and a lot of the things that could be easily done with CGI are not CGI. They're actual like robotic things.
It's unbelievable how much of the creature magic in these films is done as either live action or a combination of live action robotics and CGI.
Yeah, like they have robotic heads of some of the characters.
So cool.
So that when there's like scenes where there's a stunt person, they actually are wearing a robotic head of that character.
Yeah.
So that they can capture the character's expressions and stuff, and it's all done robotically. It's amazing.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so not only do they have, all kinds of examples of, the masks and the makeup pieces and all of that were used in the films, but there's a number of, if you have the patience to kind of stand and watch them, a number of videos that explain how everything is created and what those processes were. And so that's just super, super cool.
Yeah. The creature making section always fascinates me.
Yeah, it's really quite amazing.
Yeah.
And this time, after you get through the creature situation, things changed completely. So everything after the creatures was essentially new.
It was all new to us.
So they had the Gringotts set.
Yeah, the Gringotts Bank.
Up, which was incredible. And they actually had 2 iterations.
Yeah.
They had, of course, the entrance hallway, where Harry walks to meet the goblin to go into his vault for the first time, in Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. And then a bit later on, they have that same kind of main hall of Gringotts, but utterly devastated by a dragon.
Yeah, the escaped dragon.
Which was really very cool. They also had the set of the Lestrange's vault.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite new things. I just thought that was incredible. And they also had a pretty extensive video of how that scene was shot. Mm-hmm. And just everything that went into it, kind of just the exploding, replicating pieces of treasure, and how a platform was used to continually move Daniel Radcliffe up higher while it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous. So that was super cool. And of course we got to see the escaped dragon come up and burn the heck out of Gringotts.
They have this really, really cool effect where you're standing in the devastated hall of Gringotts Bank, and you just hear his foot stomping. It's like,
and the thing is, as you hear it, you can feel it in the walls.
The whole room is vibrating
around you. The whole room
and then
is vibrating.
You just kind of see him beyond in the mist, you can see his head swaying back, and then he starts coming forward. It's so cool.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
We have video of that too. That's super cool.
Way cool.
Yeah. And then you get to go through the village of, you get to go through Diagon Alley.
Diagon Alley.
Which of course is wonderful.
Yeah.
And that's a staple of the tour. I've seen that multiple times.
Yeah.
And also then you have the scale model of Hogwarts that was used for all of the aerial shots.
Yeah.
Of the castle. This is the last thing that you see on the tour. And like I said, this was my third visit to the Warner Brothers studio tour. It's still incredible.
It's still amazing. And you can walk 360 around it.
Around the castle.
And then they show you, like Sam said, they have video screens for almost all of the
vantage points.
Yeah. Or what I was thinking is they have video screens for almost all of the different displays. And this one shows you how they would put the actors into the shots of this model, which is, no higher than a human being. It's miniature. But then they show you how they film the actor walking on a set somewhere, and then they shrink the actors down and put them there walking across the bridge or it's just so cool how they do it you know
and again
movie magic.
Absolutely. And again, just the blend of live action and CGI I think did so much to make the action in those films believable.
Oh yeah because so much of it could have just been CGI, and they're like, no, we're going to actually build this stuff.
Yeah.
That's what's so cool about it.
So cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really just incredible feats of theatrical technology.
Yeah. Even if you're not a huge Harry Potter fan, if you're a movie fan or have any interest in filmmaking
or design of any kind.
Yeah, at all, because all the costuming is there. There's just so many things to look at, so many different elements of filmmaking to be interested in. In that tour. It's just it's a really great tour.
Yeah. You don't actually have to be a Harry Potter fan to just kind of be awed by all of it.
By all the different effects and all the different props and how they build things that actually function.
Yeah.
That they didn't need to, that they could totally have just made on a computer and would have been just as believable.
Yeah. I'd love it if our theatrical production and design students could just go on a field trip.
Yeah.
It'd be amazing.
Yeah. Well, when you guys go in January, you should try and take them there.
Yeah. There you go.
I think they might be interested in it. Anyway, we've gone on and on about the Harry Potter thing. So then after the tour, we went to the Harry Potter vegan high tea.
Yes, we did.
And let me tell you, this was really special.
It was.
Yes, the vegan afternoon tea at the Making of Harry Potter tour. They had it all set up. It's all fancy like. No, it was just the tables were set up beautifully. And then they bring you out your tea, your tea of choice. And they had Christmas poppers on the table, Christmas crackers.
Which was so cute.
Yeah. And if you're not familiar with a Christmas cracker, it's basically a toy. You pull both
cardboard sleeve.
Yeah, you pull both ends and it pops. And there's usually a toy and a joke and a little paper crown inside.
Yeah.
So then they bring out the food. And the food was this 3-tiered tea service.
Yes.
Of sandwiches and savories, sweets, and scones.
Yes.
You want to tell us what they were?
Sure. So on the first layer, so the lowest layer of our 3-tiered service, we had the finger sandwiches, and there were 4 varieties of finger sandwiches. One was a cucumber on a malted bloomer. There was a vegan smoked salmon with vegan lemon butter, also on malted bloomer. There was a hummus with roasted peppers and courgette on white bread, and a vegan cheese and tomato on white bread.
They were all delicious.
I only tried 2 of them, actually. I only had the cucumber, of course,
Of course.
and the hummus with roasted peppers, which was also beautiful.
I think I tried one of each,
You did.
and they were all delicious.
And you actually had both of the vegan cheese and tomato because you ate one a couple days later.
That's right.
We took some of it
we
home
brought
with
it
us.
home. We brought the leftovers home.
Yep.
And then there was the second tier had some savories on it. There was an herb-crusted vegan sausage roll.
Which was awesome.
Really good. There was a beetroot falafel with minted mayo and red pepper caviar.
Which was fabulous.
Really outstanding.
Amazing.
There was a Greek-style feta envelope with cranberry and spinach.
Which was good.
I thought it was really good.
For me, it was a little oily.
It was a little oily. It's probably whatever vegan feta they're using.
Yeah, I'm sure, because vegan feta releases oil.
It
like
melts.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that one for me was just okay, but the other two were really, really beautiful. If you've never tried a vegan sausage roll, you really have to.
Oh, yeah.
There's something just kind of perfect about the vegan sausage roll. Just conceptually. I don't know why, but
Yeah.
it's just puff pastry around vegan sausage, but it's
Yeah.
fabulous.
So these were like cute little bite-sized savories. They
Exactly. Everything were just bite-sized.
And then we had sweets.
And then on the sweets tier, we had a chocolate frog brownie, which was a nice dark chocolate brownie with a little vegan chocolate frog on top.
This tiny little chocolate frog.
Yep. Sprinkled with gold dust.
So cute.
Then we had the gingerbread witch's hat, the Honeyduke's pink vanilla sponge, and the sweet pumpkin pasty.
The only thing I didn't try was the witch's hat gingerbread.
Which I did try, and it was lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah, you should have tried it.
I know. I should have.
Well, and the thing is, the only one of the sweets that we ate while we were there was the Honeyduke's pink vanilla sponge.
Yeah, and we brought the rest home
And we
with
brought
us.
the rest home with us. Yeah, but the chocolate frog brownies, I think, were my favorite of that.
They were
grouping.
good.
Yeah,
I
they were really
liked
good.
the sweet pumpkin pasty.
Oh, that was good too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it didn't read as pumpkin.
You know,
For
it,
me.
it read more as like apricot to me.
Yeah, but it was really tasty.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot. Now, what probably was the star of the show for me
Yeah.
were the scones.
The scone.
I love scones,
Yeah.
first of all. And these were vegan scones, of course, and they were served with a rose-infused strawberry preserve and vegan chantilly cream.
Yeah, and that rose-infused strawberry preserve was like, wow, they hit it out of the park.
Oh my gosh. Because, of course, rose is one of those really touchy flavors. And if there's too much of it,
Yeah.
it overpowers everything and can kind of ruin any other
No, it
flavor.
was just the
It
right
was
amount.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Absolutely perfect. The strawberry was still the star of the show. But so you got this beautiful little scone, broke it apart, put some jam, put some cream on top of the jam. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the vegan chantilly cream was really good.
Just glorious.
Super fluffy.
Yeah. So I really think, as much as I enjoyed the whole presentation and all of the food was really delightful, it was those vegan scones that were the centerpiece for
I think
me.
so too. I think the scones were the highlight for me too. They were really good.
Yeah, just fantastic. And we each had our own pot of tea because we got two different flavors of tea. Christine got Earl Grey and
did.
I got English breakfast.
Yep.
So it really was just absolutely delightful. And again, props to the Warner Brothers studio tour for having so many versions of their afternoon tea.
Yeah.
There is, just kind of a standard omnivore afternoon tea. There is a vegan version. There is a gluten-free version. There are versions with champagne. And they also allow for other allergies and or dietary requirements with prior notice.
Yeah.
So it's really amazing.
One thing you will find in the UK when you go into a restaurant is if there's like a hostess or anything like that, they will always ask you if you have any allergies or dietary needs.
Yes.
Right from the get-go.
Immediately.
Yeah.
And the other thing I really love about restaurants in the UK is that at just about every single one, excepting, of course, your standard fast food outlets, but at just about every restaurant, you're going to find a printed copy of the menu outside of the restaurant.
Yeah.
And all of their vegetarian, vegan, gluten-free, allergy-specific meals, all of their offerings are so clearly marked.
Yeah, clearly marked.
It's phenomenal.
I don't understand why so many restaurants in the U.S. don't get that if they just clearly mark things. Don't make us ask.
Right.
Don't make us ask, is this, what's in this, what's in that? Is this vegan? Is there any way to veganize this? Just mark it.
Just mark it.
Yeah.
Just have a couple of options and make it clear to us from the get-go.
Yeah,
like
just
seriously.
say vegan, vegan menu or vegan options or, put a big V next to
Yes,
things.
absolutely. And so a lot of places, you'll see the different markings, V is for vegetarian, VG is for vegan.
Yeah.
And I just think that's absolutely fabulous. So you know what? American restaurants, get with it.
Yeah.
Step it up.
We really do need to get with it. Our restaurants need to get with it as far as just their menu, just noting on their menu what vegans can and cannot have.
Well, and not only that, but they can be far more forthcoming with, allergy information.
Yeah.
There are so many people who suffer from food sensitivities or food allergies anymore, who are running into the same problems that vegans or vegetarians have because they have to ask about everything.
Right.
So yeah, U.S. restaurants, you need to step it up because the UK is kicking your butt.
Agreed.
Big time.
So that was pretty much the last thing we were able to do in London because Sam got progressively sicker.
Yes.
And then my cold...
Well, wait. We haven't told the story of getting back.
Well, I don't want to talk about getting...
No. Getting back from Harry Potter.
Oh, getting back from Harry Potter. Yeah, there's a story there.
There is a story there. So we finish our tea and we leave. We get the bus back to Watford Junction.
To catch the train.
Catch the train back to the city. And we ran into all kinds of trouble. We got our train pretty easily, but we got stopped several stops in.
Yeah.
And because due to signaling issues.
Yeah, they were having some mechanical difficulties.
Due to signaling issues, both the Overground train and the Piccadilly line went down for the evening.
And then almost all the lines started to go down.
Yes.
As we were waiting to catch this other train, they just canceled. All the trains were being canceled. And I'm like, okay, so we got as far as... Piccadilly? Is that where we were?
No,
what was that bigger
but
station?
We finally got a train back to Euston Station.
Oh, Euston, yeah.
Yeah, finally got a train back to Euston, and we were about to get tickets to get us back towards the Kensington Olympia stop.
Right.
But all the trains had been canceled.
All of them.
So we wound up getting a cab back to the Airbnb.
I know.
Euston
let's
Station.
just get a cab.
Yeah, because it was... we're not, unfortunately, familiar enough with the London bus system yet.
Yeah.
We're pretty good with the tube, but we don't know the bus system well enough yet.
Yeah, we need to learn that.
Yeah, we really do. So we grabbed a cab back to the Airbnb, but it took us a good 3 hours, I think, to get back to the center of the city.
It did, and Sam was feeling so terrible.
I was feeling pretty sick by this point, but hey, yeah. I was a trooper.
You hung in there.
I did.
We stopped when we were in the Euston station. We stopped at
a pharmacy. And stocked up on all kinds of cold meds.
Yeah.
And then we got back to the Airbnb, and I pretty much immediately took medicine and fell asleep.
Yep.
And waking up Tuesday morning, I was a mess.
Yeah, we were supposed to make our way to Churchill's War Room, right?
Yeah, and before that, we had made a reservation at Mildred's in Covent Garden.
Which is a vegan restaurant in Covent Garden. And alas, those plans had to be canceled.
They did.
Yeah. We were also supposed to meet up with Matthew from the How to Vegan podcast.
Yep.
And so we couldn't meet up with him. And so that was sad.
It was sad.
Yeah.
But I really was just very, very sick on Tuesday.
Yeah. And then at this point, I started to feel sick again.
Right.
Like,
And
I think I got reinfected.
I think so, because you were feeling kind of frustrated on Tuesday that I was sick enough to keep us indoors. But then on Wednesday, I was getting better and Christine was down for the count.
Yeah. It was like, I don't know. I thought I was over it, and it just came back like full
Vengeance.
Full blast.
With a vengeance.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So Tuesday and Wednesday, we wound up hanging out in our Airbnb. Now, by Wednesday morning, we were kind of out of water. We were out of...
Our provisions
had dwindled.
Yes, it had been exhausted.
Yes. So fortunately, I was feeling better on Wednesday, so I headed out to procure some food and some more medicine and some beverages and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so I got the chance to get takeout from a nearby restaurant. And no, it wasn't pizza.
No, it's a Japanese restaurant.
No, not Japanese. It was just kind of an Asian fusion type place.
Oh, okay. I thought on their website that they said they were Japanese.
But
maybe Japanese fusion.
But they were, this is Hare and Tortoise, Kensington, which was just 2 blocks away from our Airbnb. And yes, you're right. They are predominantly a Japanese restaurant, but there are some fusion things going on in there.
Yeah.
Now, fortunately, I had been craving ramen for days because when I get sick, like a spicy broth is like the best thing you can give me.
Right.
And so I went to Hare and Tortoise and looked at their outside menu to see what was going on. And the very first thing listed under their ramen dishes was a tofu and vegetable ramen. And yes, it's vegan because the broth is a miso base. So I got us each an order of the tofu and vegetable ramen, and we also got some vegan spring rolls and brought that back to Christine. And oh my gosh, was it delightful.
It was a really good ramen.
Yeah.
And I was so happy to have some kind of soup or something at that point.
Yeah. Because I'm sorry, when you're sick, soup is just the best.
Soup is good food.
It is good food.
Yeah. It was delicious. Yeah. Hare and Tortoise in Kensington.
Yep.
Check it out if you're ever in Kensington, in London.
So if you are in London and would like to check out Hare and Tortoise, the Kensington location is at 373 High Street, Kensington in London. And they also have stores in Bloomsbury, Ealing, Putney, and Chiswick.
That was good. Thanks for bringing that back.
Yeah, I was really glad that we had the opportunity to check them out.
Yeah.
Because we'd walked by a few times.
So was that Wednesday?
That was Tuesday. That was Wednesday. Because Tuesday, the day that I was feeling sick and Christine was doing okay, she said, I think we're just going to have toast and crumpets today. Didn't even offer to go foray out to get food.
I wasn't feeling so good myself.
Yeah, well, still. She gets ramen. I get toast. I mean, come on.
Hey, I could have got pizza.
Well, at least it wasn't pizza.
Yeah, it wasn't pizza.
Yeah. But
yeah, so
she made it clear that she was not going to get us anything.
So then Tuesday was a wash. Wednesday was a wash.
Yes.
Thursday was our travel home day.
It was.
Both of us are feeling still pretty much under the weather.
Well, you were still pretty bad. I was on the upswing by this point. The couple days of rest and some good ramen and all of that, kind of worked their magic with me. And I was doing quite a bit better by Thursday morning. And so we got the tube back to the airport, which went very, very smoothly. Yeah. And again, just kind of going through the check-in process and security and all of that, just a breeze.
No problem.
No problem at all.
Except for that
deodorant.
Free deodorant that we got from the Vegan Society.
That's right.
It got hit. Both of our luggages got pulled aside because of that deodorant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a roll-on, so we just didn't think that roll-on does equal liquid.
I had mine in my little liquid
Oh, you did?
Ziploc.
Okay.
But my liquid Ziploc somehow ended up under my bag.
Oh, okay.
So that's why they had to pull me aside.
Oh, okay.
If I had made it so it was more clearly, they would have probably just pushed it through. Anyway, it was pretty funny because the guy pulls Sam's suitcase and opens it and finds that deodorant. And he says, yeah, that's it. And then pulls mine and sees it's the same exact thing. He's like, okay, you're good.
Yep.
Go on, get out of here.
Yep. Okay, so once we got settled in our terminal at Heathrow, we decided to grab some breakfast, and we did so at a lovely place called Wonder Tree.
Yeah, it was a cute little cafe.
Yes, so it's a healthy, fast cafe and restaurant, and they do global food all day. Christine had...
The full English vegan breakfast. Like I said, if it's on a menu, I'm getting it.
And I actually had a tofu and vegetable ramen.
Oh, that's right. You did.
I did.
You had a ramen. And my English breakfast was really good. They did a fantastic tofu scramble and mushroom and tomato and toast. It was good.
Yeah. And the ramen was lovely. It wasn't technically ramen because the noodles were udon.
Yeah, it was udon noodles.
So, but I love udon noodles.
Yeah.
So that's not a complaint. It was just a really nice udon soup with lots of bok choy and radish and other veg. And the broth was absolutely exquisite.
Really?
It was a miso base, but it had some serious heat to it.
Yeah.
And that kind of red pepper heat that builds as you go, but it'll clear your sinuses right out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was like slices of pepper floating in the broth.
Yes,
so.
and I did not...
you didn't eat those.
I did not eat the slices of pepper just because we were getting on a flight, and I figured,
let's not tempt fate.
No, let's not. Let's not. And so we had a lovely meal at Wonder Tree, and then very shortly thereafter, our flight was boarding, and off we went. The flight home was really quite delightful. We were sitting next to each other.
Yeah,
thankfully.
we got to sit next to each other, which was good.
Yes.
Sam didn't have to sit in the middle. I did have to sit in the middle, but there was no one sitting next to me.
Nope.
Actually, there were 2 empty seats next to me.
Originally.
But then a woman who was sitting behind me convinced one of the flight attendants to let her move up and sit on the end seat in the row we were in, which, okay, this woman just kind of took over the space. At one point, she had her shoes off and she was like leaning over and like laying with her legs on the second seat that was right next to me, and her feet were like on me. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
Christine was not pleased.
No, because I went from, yay, I have all this extra space, to having somebody's feet on me. Anyway, that didn't last long, thank God. No. She put her legs down.
Yes.
But she just took over the space, man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. But we had a really nice time.
We did.
Yeah. We watched some Apple TV.
Yeah.
We played some Mario Kart.
We played some Mario Kart
hysterical.
on the Switch.
Yep. And
we had a fantastic flight attendant who found out we were vegan.
Oh my gosh.
And just kept bringing us whatever vegan things he could find.
It was really very sweet, because when they came around with the meal cart, they asked if we wanted chicken or pasta. And I asked if the pasta was vegan. And he said, no, I think it has cheese. And I said, so that's fine. Just nothing for us. And he was like, And he carried on about his business. But then he came back a little bit later with like this little carrot and falafel salad that he found.
It was so cute.
And a roll. And then later on, he found us these lovely chickpea pastries.
Actually, I saved my little box. They were it was a vegetable and chickpea curry in a little lattice pastry from a company called Monty's Bakehouse. And it was really good.
It was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Surprisingly good for airline food.
Yeah.
But it was just so sweet that this young man, our flight attendant, just kind of took us under his wing.
He did.
It was like, I've got 2 vegans and I've got to take care of them.
I mean, I was fully prepared to just say I'm fine, because
me too.
I had brought that cheese and crackers, and we had other snacks. I had other snacks in my bag, and we would have been fine. I'm like, it's only like 7.5 hours, and we ate before we got on the plane. So it's not like we would starve to death or anything. But yeah, he really decided that he was just going to find us every vegan thing available on that plane.
It was really very sweet.
Yeah, it was. It was really sweet of him.
Yep. So we landed in Toronto and all was well. And, once again, just through security and customs really was just a breeze.
Yes, no problem.
No problem at all. We found our parking spot very quickly. We got out of there pretty quickly. And then unfortunately we discovered that my new glasses make driving at night in a city a problem.
Yeah, Sam's like, all the lights are just blurs.
Yes,
like,
just
that's not
everything
good.
had aura around it, and I had no depth perception whatsoever.
Yeah.
And Christine is essentially night blind.
I can't
so
drive at night.
When we figured out that this was not a good situation for me, we decided that we just had to stop and stay the night in Toronto.
Yeah, and thankfully there's a number of decent hotels around the Toronto airport, so we stayed at a hotel overnight, which was good. We slept really well. And
oh my gosh, I slept like a rock.
yeah, Sam did. We got
Wow.
like in the room and laid down. I'm like, you want to go find something to eat or anything? We're like, nah.
Because we'd had enough on the plane, and so
Next
we
thing
were
I know,
fine.
she's out.
And did
totally
not
out.
wake up till morning. And
She
I don't
didn't.
think I moved, which is really
didn't.
unusual for me.
You didn't move at all.
Yeah, it was crazy. So, but we got up in the morning
Yep.
and headed home. And on the way home, was actually kind of a little bit of a blessing that we stayed over because we had the bright idea to stop in Hamilton on the way home at the Hardy Hooligan.
One of our favorite spots in
One
Hamilton.
of our favorite spots.
The Hardy Hooligan. And if you're ever in Hamilton, Ontario, do not sleep on the Hardy Hooligan. They have some of the best vegan stoner food you can ask for. And we both got breakfast wraps.
We did.
And I got a side of hash browns with mine.
Yep.
And
And
you
I
got
some
French
fries
fries.
with mine, right? Because you got the tofu scramble wrap and I got
Yeah.
the omelet wrap.
Yeah.
And the real difference there was the consistency of the tofu.
Yeah.
And also, like, mine had some grilled peppers and onions and mushrooms in there.
Right.
But, they were just really beautiful. And we each had, the requisite side of potatoes. And also got some vegan... It was a hazelnut mocha
Yeah, it was a
latte.
hazelnut mocha latte, and it was delicious.
Unbelievably
Yeah.
good, just fabulous. We picked up some cupcakes to bring home.
Yep.
But we got a chocolate raspberry cupcake for each of us and a chocolate hazelnut cupcake for each of us. They were fantastic.
Yeah, they make the cute little just cupcake size
And they
cupcakes.
are just cupcake size. These
Yeah.
are not ginormous cupcakes like you get at Strong Hearts.
No, these are just like 2-3 bite cupcakes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely perfect.
They are perfect.
Yeah.
And it's such a groovy place. If you're ever in Hamilton, definitely check it out.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're actually saying, Hamilton's not that far away. We should just go up as a day trip someday.
Yeah, it's only 2.5
2
hours.
hours, not even.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the trip back from the Hooligan felt really, really fast.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's 2.5 to Toronto, with depending on traffic, because we've had Toronto take 4 hours.
True.
But
True.
if there's no traffic, it's 2.5.
Yeah, and coming back on Friday, there was no traffic at all.
No, there wasn't.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if you heard, there was that really unfortunate accident at the Peace Bridge a few days before we were coming back.
Yeah.
Kind of expected that there might be more delays at the border, but there weren't.
No.
Thankfully.
No, we went, got through the border really, really quickly and got ourselves home and promptly got into fuzzy clothes, said hi to our feline companions.
Yeah, they're like, oh, you came back.
And Christine pretty much knocked out, and this was when her second round of sickness
Yeah, I don't know.
really hit her.
It's not COVID. I took a COVID test just to be sure. It's not COVID.
Yeah.
It's just a terrible, terrible respiratory cold.
Yeah.
My head still feels full, and I still have a cough.
Yep. But you were just down Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday and Sunday, I was just like down for the count. Mm-hmm. Crazy.
Yep.
And I'm still feeling it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if we're ever going to kick this thing.
You will.
Anyway, we gotta wrap this thing up. We have things to do.
Okay. Fine then.
Yeah. So that was London. We had a really good time until we didn't. And then,
Well, but even the not so good time
yeah,
we still
okay.
had a good time.
I guess I'd rather have a cold in London than a cold at home.
I suppose so.
Yeah. Let's move on and talk about what our how to become vegan tip this week is.
Today's helpful suggestion for becoming vegan is to remember why. Keep reminding yourself of the reasons you've chosen a vegan lifestyle and the benefits you've felt since going vegan. You'll probably find going vegan a lot easier than expected, but if you do have a bad day or feel this whole vegan thing is too much like hard work, take a deep breath and briefly reflect on your choices. Reading books or regularly watching informative and uplifting videos about veganism can help, as does keeping motivating visual reminders like photos of your favorite animals. Or how about locating your nearest animal sanctuary? Spending time with animals who are traditionally farmed and getting to know their wonderful personalities is a great way to reaffirm your commitment to veganism. If you can't do that, there are plenty of positive videos of animals that will do the same thing.
Yeah, finding your why is an important part of life in general, but it's definitely a good way to stay vegan.
Yes.
Find your why and
remind yourself of the why as often as possible.
Yep,
for sure.
Hey, it's time for our favorite part of the show.
It must be listener shout out time.
It's listener shout out.
Just want to give a shout out to all my fans watching. I love you guys. I love you.
This week's shout out goes to Gregory Hall. Gregory is a vegan advocate in his community in central New York. He's an active member of the Syracuse Vegan Living Program. Thank you for listening, Gregory.
Yeah, we met Gregory at the Syracuse Vegfest, and he was on the panel that I moderated there. And he's always willing to share our social media stuff, and I really appreciate that. And I appreciate your listening, Gregory. And maybe we will see you next week when we're at that market.
Oh, I hope so. That'd be great.
That holiday market. So you can either give us that information then or contact us with your t-shirt size and address so we can send you a Compassion and Cucumbers swag bag. You can email us at compassionandcucumbers@gmail.com or DM us on Instagram or Facebook. And if you want to get a listener shout out, send us a DM or an email letting us know that you listen and tell us about yourself. I'm running out of shout outs, people. So send me an email or a DM.
Oh, there's no way you're running out of shout-outs.
I'm running out. I'm running out of shout-outs.
I find that hard to believe.
My shout-out list is getting...
Is dwindling?
It's dwindling.
Oh, come on, get on it, people.
Yeah, if you're listening and you haven't been shouted out, let us know you listen so we can shout you out.
Indeed. And that brings us to this week's Vegan Org of the Week, and that is the UK-based Animal Justice Project. For more than 8 years, Animal Justice Project has been exposing and ending animal cruelty and exploitation in farms and laboratories. At the same time, the team works tirelessly to end the rights violations that animals still trapped within these systems face every single day. Animal Justice Project campaigns for the end of animal farming. They work with activists nationwide to build on the capacity, scale, and effectiveness of the animal rights movement so that they can collectively achieve our shared vision of a society that is just. For more information or to support their work, you can go to animaljusticeproject.com.
Don't you need to put www before
that? See,
that?
I specifically left them out because I knew you were going to have something to say about it.
I tease.
I know you do.
All right. It's time for our wrap up. Let's wrap this baby up. As always, we encourage you to join the AFA Vegan Voter Hub and support them in any way that you can. Because the Agriculture Fairness Alliance is lobbying in D.C. on our behalf so that our vegan voices are heard. If you want to be included in the conversation, join the Vegan Voter Hub. The link is always in our show notes.
And with that, it's time to sign off.
You did it again.
You've just listened to episode 115 of the Compassion and Cucumbers podcast, and there's nothing left to say but where cukes and compassion are always the fashion on the podcast.
Thanks, James.
Have a great week, everyone.
We'll talk to you next Tuesday.
We love you.
Bye.
The end.
If you'd like to support the Compassion and Cucumbers podcast, well, you can do that by hopping on over to our Patreon page and becoming a patron. We have all the recipes from our vegan kitchen series up there, and we'll be adding some patron-only episodes in the near future. So thank you for supporting us at whatever level that you choose, and thank you again for listening to Compassion and Cucumbers podcast.